How do you renovate and refresh your website's words? In today's video, I'm going to lift up the curtain and show you the big steps in the process that my team and I work through as we write client websites. Quite honestly, as I moved from corporate marketing into owning and running my own copywriting business, I had never heard of the fancy pants termed productized service before. I just knew that as I served clients, I needed to be more efficient with my process. But as I did more and more client websites and more client launch copy packages, what I realized is that I had neatly tied up with an internet bow my process. That just means that I took the service that I was performing over and over again for clients and put it into a standardized list of steps and timelines and features. I've nailed a system for writing client websites because we just did it over and over again, and that is the brand story package. It's actually something I've never really shared before. If you are as excited about that as I am, then hit that subscribe button below because I teach stuff like this each and every single week. All right, let's dive into the 5 steps of how I write client websites in about a 4 to 6 week process. Step 1 is gathering. This takes about 4-ish days, and it means loads of researching and digging around for data. I'm doing things like figuring out samples of how my clients talk, pulling what we call voice of customer data. I'm diving nose first into where my clients, ideal clients, hang out. I'm soaking in it, really trying to figure out what they know, feel, say, and do. That's something that my copywriting for creative students will recognize I call the quad, figuring out those 4 things in particular. In this part of the process, I am picking apart my client's service or product, really digging into all the features and all the benefits of it, and I'm definitely making sure that I note where any objections may come up from the people that they want to work with and serve. Okay, here is a pro nerdy tech tip that I'm really pumped to share. I use a tool called user testing to help me see and understand how complete strangers view and understand my client's message before I dig in and start changing things. Again, if we're looking at this as a construction project, this is really site mapping and getting the lay of the land. If you start doing this user testing tip I'm about to teach you, it can be a complete game changer. I think you're really gonna like it. So before I go into the next tip, let's hop to the computer and let me show you how this works. When you go to usertesting.com, this is the page that you're gonna see, and all I want you to do, I hope this is okay to say, but you can do great with just a trial. So if you're just testing your website and not doing this for clients, that's what I would recommend that you do. So you're going to create a new account and request trial, and then let me show you, and I created a dummy account, what that looks like on the back end. So you can do this just for about 7 days, which gives you enough time to test your own website, and let me show you how that works. Once you're in the dashboard, this is what you'll see, and I want you to come over here and click new, and you're just going to create a new test a website. And now you get to rockin' and rollin'. So what you can do first is select your participants, and I would go ahead and recommend, you're gonna need to bump this down to 3 during your trial if that's what you're doing. And I mean, I would probably do some smartphone, some computer. Either way is fine. Smartphone would definitely be nice to test some mobile. But after this, you can go ahead and trim down. Now you will see there's a lot of features, like the good features, of course, you need to pay for. But basically, age and gender are probably things that you're going to want to bring into what's closer to your target market, especially if you're a creative industry that targets a certain group of people, you'll want to do that. So let's set this. And then the next thing that you do is start building out the test itself. So you can type in the name of your website here. If you want to give them a little bit more information, you can do that as well. And then just start dropping in what you want them to do. You may have to play with this for a sec before you start to understand how it works, but you can have them. I like this section that has popular examples. You can choose questions. So if you're kind of stuck on what to do, I would recommend that you pop into here and grab a few of those. But essentially, you build out this test plan. Now, it's going to give you a couple of different options. So make sure you have enough things in there. It's going to do it like an A/B test and a B/A test. Again, once you hop in, you can really see how this works a little bit more. But once you have the test together, you can roll with it. Once you submit your test, you can get the response back very quickly, like within less than 24 hours. So let me show you what that looks like. Again, I did this test run to preview what this looks like on a just a sample account. So this is an account I would recommend, again, unless you're doing this for lots of clients and you really need it as part of your business. It's a little expensive, so you can just do the test drive. So I did that to see if it works the same, and it does. And this is the response that you get back. So then you can go in and actually watch these videos of what people are saying as they look at your website. I made some notes all along the way as I listened to it. This part pretty much looks the same as the paid version, which I like. I went ahead and can still make notes over here of the things that I listened throughout. You can speed it up, which can be helpful because they tend to be sometimes a little longish. But once you play the video, you can hear exactly what happens as they go through the test that you set them up for and get the best feedback in the world. Step 2 is analyzing. Probably better to call this the listening phase. Now that I have a lot of voice of client data and research and a lot of voice of customer data and research, I want to start looking for patterns of what's performing really well and what is not performing so hot. Side note, this is a little bit different if you or my client is brand new and hasn't started a business yet, because we are going to be obviously missing some of the research that we really need. There's ways around that, but for our one-on-one services that I and my team provide, our clients have typically been in business for a little while. For bigger price point packages, we have room in the budget to really spend some hours here, which is what I love. I would say I borderline spend way more time in the research phase than actually the writing portion of a copywriting project. Now, because I specialize and deal specifically with one niche, creative entrepreneurs, I've been able to get away with a little less analyzing than I would do if it was a completely different market that I was really new to. I've just chosen with my business to specialize and get to know one group of people, creatives in particular. Another pro tip here is to go back into your analytics, like Google Analytics, and look at pages and blog posts that are performing well. Again, this is just going to be more information to gather and then analyze. Here, we also need to pay attention to what is not working so well. So this is when I'll pull back in those video recordings that I got from using a tool like user testing and listen and take lots of notes to what people are saying as they are looking through this client's website. Step 3 is to excavate the message. So after seeing this done in corporate for a while, I developed my own brand messaging excavation process. And this is what we use to map out our client's voice, tone, core values, mission statement, onlyness factor, which is the term I use for your unique selling or unique value proposition, and more. By pulling this all together in one document, we're able to really make sure that we've solidified the core message, that we're not missing anything, and we're rallying around the right talking points. Fixer-upper fans out there, this is essentially doing the chip demo day, so we get everything down to the studs and we can start building afresh on top of that. This part of the process takes us about 1 week, and then we have 2 rounds of edits on top of that. The 4th step is that we wireframe. This means that we batch figure out the spit drafts for different pages of the website that we're writing. Now, when I say that, I realize it may be a little overwhelming to think about framing out and mapping out each page of your website. But keep in mind, I've been writing web copy for about a decade now, since I was drafting in-flight experience copy for Delta.com. If DIYing your own website copy is new to you, and go you, I always say you've got to be able to do a lot of this stuff because you can't hire a copywriter every single time. If you want to sketch out how your website words are going to look, I would recommend you look at another website. That is an amazing way to see how things are laid out spatially with headlines and crossheads and body copy. That is such a good way to start. And another tip here is to look outside of your industry. So go look at a website from something completely separated from the thing that you do. That's where the good stuff really is. So at this phase, we'll get our spit drafts together into a wireframe for our client to review. And now we're ready to start knocking out the website copy and seeing how these pages work and link together. So step number 5, we start writing and send it through a few solid rounds of edits. Now, a bonus tip here is to use templates. As I write, I am using formulas and templates or theme plates that I know work. I include these templates and step-by-step formulas in my program, Copywriting for Creatives, which takes you through everything you need to know to master your message and write your site. If you're interested in that, I recommend you check out below my masterclass, How to Write Your Website Words. I only teach it twice a year, and you can find all of the information below this video. Bottom line, what I want you to take from this is that there is an efficient system and process for writing your website that you can capitalize on as well. Thanks so much for tuning in and watching this video. I always appreciate your time. If you found this helpful, hit that like button, hit subscribe for a new video each and every single week, and I will see you in the next one.